excitable.
Why you're being all like crazy today?
I'm crazy.
Good. We are here. We are live.
Hello.
Sawadee ka.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Yay!
Was that your Kermit the
That's
Frog?
Kermit the Frog. Make sure you check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Thank you so much for watching us right now exclusively on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
I just realized I'm wearing this gross workout shirt.
Well, you were working out, so that's acceptable.
That's true. I just forgot to change.
Anyways, we're going to talk about some TV stuff today.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Whoop-de-doo.
So, what do you have?
I actually don't have a lot.
Okay.
Mine are not like new shows so much as they are. Well, I guess it's up there. Excuse me, still fighting the cough stuff. It's really just some shows coming to an end. And a show that's already over, but it's now hit Blu-ray for the first. Or I don't know if it's for the first time. What's wrong with you?
I hear a noise.
Did you fart?
Listen.
We're live doing a show.
Okay,
we can't just sit here in silence
sorry.
and listen
Continue.
to the show. Anyway, so the first one I want to talk about is this is a revisit for both of us because we've seen the majority of the show, but it just came out on Blu-ray. It is the Mindy Project, the complete series that went from, I believe it was Fox.
Yes, and then
it got canceled, and then it became a Hulu original, and did a couple more seasons on Hulu, and then it finally ended. But Mill Creek Entertainment has just released the complete series on Blu-ray. It's a great little set that we posted a review about. But
I liked it. It's one of my favorite shows. I like Mindy.
I like the early seasons. I think better.
The earlier ones were better
because it was one of those that kind of followed an ongoing story.
Yeah,
but I think once they got into the
marriage,
the baby and the family and all that kind of stuff,
it wasn't just as funny as before.
Well, it was funny, but it seemed to take over the story because we weren't spending as much time at the clinic.
But my favorite was still his mom that hated her.
Yeah. I
love her.
Well, I thought all the nurses like Barinholtz and what is her name? Is it Future? What's that lady's name?
Yeah, Future.
Femster, whatever her name is.
Fortune.
Fortune Femster. Ike Barinholtz, and I forgot the other ladies' names are on there. Adam Pally. All those people kind of made the show kind of funny because Mindy's great.
Yeah, but
their little one-liners and quips and stuff I think made it better. And then when she stopped working for a while, you didn't see them as often.
Yeah.
And it didn't have as much. You did, but it was out of the clinic, and it just wasn't as funny. But it was still a funny show, I think, right up till the end. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyway, I just figured we'd talk about that real briefly.
It out.
You can still watch the whole thing on Hulu if you don't want to buy the set, I believe. Yeah.
Available.
But the Blu-ray set's actually pretty cool, and it has all 6 seasons.
All right.
So,
what do you got? Another exciting thing that we have yet to talk about, because we weren't here last week, I think.
We were sick. I was getting over it. She was starting to get it. So we just had to.
Anyways, I'm so excited for the new show, Picard, exclusively on CBS All Access.
Which is also the home of
Star Trek
Discovery.
Anyways, y'all, I love me some Jean-Luc Picard. He is my favorite. Like, I love him, and then I like Janeway. I know, it's surprising. And then I liked...
You like the lunch lady captain?
Yeah, what was his name? Burt Bacharach, but not really. What's his name? Scott Bakula.
Oh, from Enterprise?
I like Scott Bakula and his series.
Did you like Cisco? From Deep Space Nine?
I wasn't a huge Deep Space Nine fan.
I didn't...
I liked the voyages and the journeys and
But see, here's the thing is, I kind of was a late bloomer to Star Trek. I liked the old movies. I was not a big fan of the original series. That was before our time.
Yeah, but
I enjoyed it later in life. But I never got into Next Generation.
I was a huge Next Generation fan.
My first...
I'm not the person that remembers all the episodes.
No. I watched a few episodes here and there. My best friend was heavily into it. And I was just like, I don't care. Ironically enough, while it started...
Yeah.
I clearly chose poorly on the longevity of a show because he jumped into Next Generation and I jumped into
what was coming on at the same time, babe?
Oh, what was the name of the show? I just went blank.
What was it about?
Sequest. Which was basically Star Trek underwater.
Kind of.
And I loved Sequest. I watched it every week. It was actually probably one of the first series I watched on a regular basis
Oh wow.
as a
Okay.
kid, because I used to watch random TV. I wasn't into
Yeah.
just, I wanted movies. I didn't care about
Yeah,
television.
I love TV.
And I'd watch a lot of like Matlock and that kind of crap, what was ever on. But Sequest, I believe, was the first show that I dived into. Watched it from beginning to end. So my first real Star Trek experience, because when I lost my Sequest, I was like, well, I guess I got to watch this Star Trek crap. Was Voyager. So I watched Voyager, and I jumped into Deep Space Nine when Worf left Enterprise and went to I think when it ended.
Yeah.
Worf joined Deep Space Nine, and then I watched Deep Space Nine regularly from then.
Yeah.
It was really about the Klingons, because that's what I liked.
You loved that.
I liked the Klingons.
You and your birds of prey. Okay.
Oh.
Klingon bird of prey.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Picard, the new show.
Picard, y'all, these Romulans. I saw someone post, man, these Romulans. I'm like, right? They've never just changed. So that's all you need to know. Picard, go watch it.
If you don't know about it or even know its existence, it's a continuation. Way later, Picard's retired. He's living on a farm kind of thing.
Well, he always
plantation
had,
kind of farm.
A vineyard. He always had a vineyard in France, and he talked about.
I just made him a plantation.
He talked about the family living in the vineyard in France. He's from France.
Yeah. He's always talked about that.
He's always talked about it, and I'm so happy we get to see it. And the interesting thing is that even though we're like in the year 2050 or 2020, whatever it is, I don't know.
It's 2020 now, honey.
I know we're in like 2250.
They're like 24 or whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway,
but it's funny because there's one mention of a conflict in our Earth time period. I'm like, I know that because I watched the movie. I did the research. No, I love it. I don't think you need to be a massive Star Trek
You can
fan.
dive in without ever watching the other stuff. You'll miss some of the nuances.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of the not a lot, but there's a few members of the original series, not just Next Generation, that are showing up. Not all of them have even showed up yet, but like Data shows up. But if you know the movies, Data died in the movies. Spoiler. If you haven't watched that movie by now, good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, where have you been?
But one of the things was Brett Spiner had said he wasn't going to take on the role if they retconned his death in the movies. Because all the movies and the TV shows were always in the same continuity.
Yes, always.
And so they found an interesting way to bring him back.
Except for that one weird time period where Worf and Deanna Troi were together. There was a weird thing somewhere in one of the shows or one of the movies, but then she ended back with number one.
Well, they broke up for a while, I think.
I don't know. There was something weird in between there.
Why can't they be together?
I mean, they can. I'm okay.
Yeah, excuse me.
But whatever.
Anyway, but the show is really good, and it's got some intrigue, and it's not just. It's a very different Star Trek series.
It is, and I love that we're continuing with his story at his age. There's one thing where he's trying to run, and he's like, "Whoa, you got to stop!" And he's like, "No, keep running." He's like, "I can't."
He's an old man, and he's
older
playing his
now.
age.
And
I also, there's been a lot of critiques that I've heard of people like, "Well, this doesn't feel like Picard. This isn't how Picard would act," because it's the Luke syndrome again, where because in this he's kind of disgruntled Starfleet because of something that happens. They talk about in the show. And he doesn't believe or doesn't feel that Starfleet is living up to what Starfleet is supposed to be.
Right.
And so he's kind of angry about it. And he's an older man, and he's retired, and he's kind of away from it. So he doesn't have to keep his mouth shut as one of their captains or colonels or admirals or whatever he's at.
He's retired.
I know, but it's very military like when you have something you're against a war, against something. And it makes sense of the evolution of a character that's gone through so much, just like people didn't like the way they went with Luke. You don't have to like it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's one of those shows that I was excited for, but I wasn't sure how well it was going to work.
Yeah.
Watching an old man Picard run around as much as I like Patrick Stewart, but it works because he's not trying to be anything other than what he is.
I love it. And we're okay. So if we're in the 20s,
what is Star Trek Picard?
So if we're in the 24th century, that means it's the year 25 something, right?
Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
I don't know what it is. Who knows? I love it.
Anyway,
go watch it.
It's they drop the episodes each Thursday, I believe, on CBS All Access. So we're only 2 episodes in. So we'll see. I think it's already been picked up for a second season.
That's because it's good.
It is good.
And it is really
Star Trek
good.
Discovery is really good too. And I've heard there's a couple of spinoffs coming from that.
Okay.
Which I heard the Michelle Yeoh's character is getting a spinoff.
I love that.
And
show,
there's
by the
talk
way.
that Anson Mount's Captain Pike might get his own spinoff.
Oh, he was so good in that
Yeah.
show. Y'all are just, you got to. And I hope you will give it a chance. If you've never seen any Star Trek things, please give
Discovery's
it
a good one to jump in on if you've never watched Star
Yes.
Trek, because it's its own thing.
Well, and it's kind of in the past, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind
before
of
everything, which is
all these
why
other
if you don't know who
things.
Captain Pike is, Captain Pike was in the original pilot for the original 60 Star Trek series before William Shatner. And
Before William
they
Shatner.
decided, for whatever reason, to retool the show. They changed it to Brendan William Shatner, and they changed it to Captain Kirk, which is obviously the iconic character that we all know. And they brought Pike into an episode years later. Not too many years. That show only made 3 seasons. Most people don't realize that. But he came in and he was just a head in this box because he had been injured. And so he was just kind of this, that was like keeping him alive. And then when they redid the Star Trek movies with Chris Pine and all those people, they brought in Captain Pike again.
Yeah.
So they keep bringing that character back because he's one of the oldest members of Starfleet in the television history characters. Because the original show was only Spock and Pike. All the other characters were different.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I'm looking like timelines. Where are we? Okay, so the new show is in the year 2399.
Discovery?
So, no, Picard.
Picard.
So in about 100 or 200 years, we need to discover and create interstellar flight, teleportation.
Well, according to Generations,
we have communicators, so we're good.
According to Generations, it showed when they made warp travel,
warp speed. What year was that?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Go watch Generations; it'll tell you.
Anyways, I like all the Star Trek stuff. I'm not a super Star Trek nerd, but I like it. It's fun.
It is. It's a good show.
It's fun. Watch it.
All right. So moving on, the Netflix original series The Ranch, which I love, has come to an end.
Oh, like over?
It's done. Yeah. Yeah. It's not broken down so much in seasons as they call it parts. And so they just will drop randomly 10 episodes. So it was like part 8, and I believe it was like the second half of part 8 or something like this. Anyway, just dropped a couple of weeks ago. Ironically enough, it dropped while I was sick, so I've been watching it within.
That's good.
With 2 days, I watched the entire series and was done with it. If you don't know about The Ranch, it stars Ashton Kutcher, Sam Elliott.
With his mustache.
Yeah, originally it had oh my God, I just went blank from that 70s show, the other guy. And he got in a lot of trouble.
The Scientology guy.
Yeah, the Scientology. He was accused of a bunch of stuff, so they wrote him off the show. Dax Shepard came in, and he's been on the show the last few seasons as their cousin. And it's kind of one of those. It's kind of like what seems to be the new trend with movies like
Danny Masterson.
Danny Masterson, yes, who was also in that 70s show with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
And they've had some cameos throughout the seasons of some of the other members of the old show, including Red, who was Foreman's dad. He showed up. Foreman's mom plays his mother-in-law. Jim Beaver from Supernatural, Bobby Singer. He plays his father-in-law. So there's a lot of like great little nuanced characters there. Ethan Suplee is like a town police officer that they always steal his gun from him.
Yeah.
But it was still when you can see the last season, because if you haven't seen Ethan Suplee now, he's this massive, muscle-bound Hulk now instead of the big, fat, funny guy that he used to be. So if you've seen these last part, you can see he had slimmed down, and he wasn't as big as he. Anyway, that's relevant.
Random.
But the show finally came to an end. They did a good job of kind of wrapping everything up, and the whole story follows this family's farm, this cattle ranch, and it follows that trend of sitcoms like Mom and stuff like that are funny but really heavy. Yeah, they have because this one deals with a lot of family drama. Ashton Kutcher's character is an ex-football star who gets injured or ruins his career by drinking and partying too much. Moves back to the family farm. Sammy Elliott is his dad, who seems to hate everything. He's just grumpy about everything. Seems like Sam Elliott thing to He's so perfect in the role because everything is just shut up. You're stupid. I can't stand you kind of thing. Danny Masterson was his brother Rooster, who had stayed living on the farm. What kind of a name is Rooster? Why would you please don't name your kid Rooster? He was country people. And all they did was their mom owned a bar, so the whole show was either on the ranch or at the bar, and they were always drinking. There was always some jokes about the beer. And then after the controversy, they wrote Danny Masterson off. They essentially killed him off in the show. So they brought in Dax Shepard to kind of keep that same banter for Ashton Kutcher to have to play off of. He played their cousin, who was an ex-vet dealing with PTSD and some drinking issues. And there was characters that had drug problems. There was unexpected pregnancies. There was problems with their cows that got sick. There was issues with the other ranchers trying to buy stuff. And it was like many different things.
Drama.
A lot of drama. Yeah, there was a lot of drama.
And I know about it only from hearing it when you were watching it. I missed this whole last part though, so I don't know how.
Yeah, the last part.
You'll have to tell me how it ends.
Well, the thing is, it's a family show about this family, so there's really no end unless you just killed everybody.
Yeah.
But it basically kind of wraps up a really big deal that the farm about losing the family farm, which is what the whole last of the season's final show was about. And them having to move and start over and do all these different things and trying to find their way. And there was a murder. They went the old school sitcom route where it ended. There's a character who they accuse of killing Rooster. Right. And he was like an abusive ex of Rooster's lady.
Okay.
He had started dating, who was the mother of a girl that Ashton Kutcher used to date.
This is all convoluted.
It was funny, but it's crazy. Okay. It was this whole thing. But anyway, so when they wrote him off, that guy shows up with a gun kind of thing and says, "You need to get out of town." That's the last we ever see of him.
Yeah.
And then the new season picks up. They found his motorcycle.
We don't know. We don't really know.
Yeah, they found his motorcycle crashed and he's dead. And so you keep wondering. I kept waiting that he was going to come back, that he wasn't dead, and let him show up till the final episodes. But they didn't do that, obviously. But the season before this final one ended with them saying, because the guy came back into town, and Sam Elliott saying he was going to go kill him because he killed his son. And then you see like the mobile home, and you see the guy come home and goes, "What are you doing here?" You hear gunshots, and that's how it ended. So you didn't know. So the whole season was who killed him. It was a whole who shot JR mentality.
That's so funny.
So you have to try to figure out which of all these players.
They had motives.
Yeah, every single person on this show had a reason to kill this person. So you had thinking that ended up being somebody you probably weren't going to guess, and so they revealed that, and then cool. But it did a good job of wrapping it up. So if you haven't checked it out, now you can watch the entire run of the show. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's heavy. It was really good.
Good. You have to tell me how it ends. All right.
With the credits.
Well, did we ever talk about this thing right here?
I don't know what that is. Oh, I don't think so.
All right.
We can bring it up again if we have.
Sorry if we've talked about it. I don't think we have because it just started recently, but we have now started watching the spinoff of 911, which is 911.
Oh.
911 Lone Star, starring what's his name?
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, who I really enjoy. I think he's a very nice man. Has Liv Tyler.
Is this show part of the same world as 227?
Yes, Jack K is going to show up at any minute now.
227 calls 911 on the next episode.
And it has that one guy. What's that one guy's name? That country guy that's been on that other show?
Oh, that was on True Blood and a lot of other stuff.
Anyways,
I don't know his name. He's a good actor.
It's a nice little show. It's basically like 911, and they're firefighters, you call them. There you go. In Austin. And we find out Rob Lowe's going through some stuff. His son's going through some stuff.
Everybody's going
through the guy's going through some stuff. Liv Tyler's going through. I mean, everybody's
Liv Tyler's a paramedic, and the other ones are part of the
firefighters.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's drama everywhere so far. And I think that was one of the key differences we were noticing is the original 911 does a lot with the actual 911 call going out there. With
they have a good balance because
the
other show has a lot of that family drama and all that stuff there.
But more cases.
But it seems to have a big case to deal with, which then in turn leads into their family issue of whatever's happening. This one seems to be, let's deal with all the personal issues and throw a random case in.
Yeah.
And so I like the show, but it's
a different balance.
I'm not fully sold. You would think, hey, we're going to be in Austin. It's kind of more close to our neck of the woods, be a little more relatable. But I actually would like the other show better. But it's also still trying to establish itself.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll get there. I mean, the cast is good. Rob Lowe's good. Liv Tyler's good.
I don't really like Liv Tyler in the show, but
she's not one of my favorite actresses.
Well, I
but
used
she's
to like
okay.
her and stuff, but I don't like her in this show yet. And I don't know why. I think it's because her story seems very unbalanced. One minute, like when they first introduce us, she's almost crazy. Then you find out, okay, maybe she's not and what she's dealing with. Then they just pretend it didn't happen. Then they come back to it.
Yeah.
So it's like it seems unbalanced for someone who's that obsessed about something they're dealing with to then have a normal conversation like everything's okay and then go back to it. You know, so it's I don't know what they're doing.
We'll see. Check it out, 911 Lone Star. Make sure you do watch the original 911.
Yeah.
Because that is a really good show as well.
Exactly.
There you go.
All right.
On Fox.
Well, apparently all the shows I want to talk about have ended or are ending because
I'm talking about new things.
Yeah, we're fresh off of the Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yeah.
It was an awesome crossover, lots of changes. It changed the entire series of every single show on there. Every single show on the CW DC Universe shows, it didn't like affect like Riverdale and stuff, but it could have because that's all part of.
Is Nancy Drew in the same universe?
Yes, technically, but I don't know if they're going to cross those over with that anyway. But anyway, just all the superhero CW shows. The Crisis basically changed everything in the show.
Is the Crisis over?
The Crisis is over. We're back to just. Well, no, it's done. We're back to just the normal episodes. Okay. But the flagship series of the entire run, Arrow, has now come to an end. And it ended on a very depressing note.
They had gotten depressing towards the last few seasons anyway.
Well, I give them credit because obviously if you haven't watched Crisis, I can't tell you what happened.
Don't tell me.
Because there was only 2 episodes after Crisis. One of the episodes was a backdoor pilot, essentially, for their spinoff show Black Canaries that they're doing. I don't know if it's gotten picked up yet or not, but that whole episode pretty much had nothing to do with Oliver Queen and all that stuff. It was a tell-in from the Crisis because the Crisis is kind of what helped it happen. But it's its own thing. It actually jumps way into the future. I think like 2040 or something, as well as back to here. So that one episode was a filler that was kind of, you wouldn't even need to watch it to see the rest of the show. But the final episode was, they did a good job because it is definitely a finale. It brought back almost every major player that's been on the show since day one for a couple of scenes, including some of the weird like flashback, the Russian guy that he used to deal with from the flashbacks. Yes. He was back.
Nice.
Other characters that were dead were back, but it makes sense because of things that got altered and changed because of the Crisis. And there was one major character that was absent this entire season, came back for the final episode. And the final scene of the show is a cliffhanger. Because it's evolving a character with a rumor that fans have been having or talking about that they thought they were going to do with this character forever. Apparently they have done it. We don't know where this is going to show up. So it was kind of a cliffhanger to things to come, or just fan service to make them happy because now we know what this person is going to do.
Well, there you go.
But I heard it's going to show up in a couple of other shows because we still have Stargirl series going to be coming out. There's a Superman Lois Lane series coming. Then there's the the Canaries, which right now I don't care anything about that show, but I'll watch it because I watch all of them and see what happens. So Arrow's done and over with. It wasn't a super strong finale as far as what it could have been, but it also served as kind of a clip show too. It did a lot of flashback pieces, and it was very interesting the way they decided to end it all.
Oh, there you go.
So it's over. Good day, sir.
All right. Well,
what else you got?
I'm excited because this has just came back this week. Season 3 of The Masked Singer, the singing show where celebrities and people from all walks of life come in a mask and sing for the pleasure of the audience. And our job is to guess who's behind the mask.
Worst show ever.
No, I have loved it.
I was super excited for this show when it was announced. I had seen some of the clips from the Asian version, the original version. So when they announced it was here, I'm excited. I like the judges that are on it. I couldn't wait to watch it. I watched 2 episodes. I said, this show sucks.
No, it's so fun.
So not fun.
You're not fun. You don't know anything. Anyways,
And I hate those shows that drag all
I
that
have
crap
liked
out
it.
every episode, and
I've liked all of them.
and I also hate the fakeness of it.
What do you mean?
Like when they, like you were just watching an episode today, and they do it on all these reality shows where they're like, we're gonna find out the winner, and who do you think it is? And it's shows all the judges, shows all the contestants. Everybody gets it right after these messages, and the judges go, oh, like they didn't know. They do it every episode.
They don't know.
They do know. They do this every episode, and
You
so the
don't
judges know what's gonna happen. It's so fake.
Anyways,
Anyway.
I have loved all of it. Season 3 just started.
Do they use the same animal characters every season?
No,
Do they have a
each
new
season there's new animals because everybody gets to pick their own
creatures
character.
or whatever.
Yes.
How do you know they get to pick that character?
They pick it based on something in their lives.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
That's fun.
So,
Okay.
the first person was already revealed. I will not spoil it in case you didn't see it.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Okay.
But make sure you watch it. I love it. We can talk about it.
All right.
Love it.
Is that all
Masked
you got?
Singer. It is on what show?
Fox.
Thank you.
Is that all you got?
No, I got more things.
Oh, goodness. Well, go ahead, because I just have some news.
Okay, so what everybody was watching this weekend was the Super Bowl.
Oh, yes.
We were going to talk about our favorite commercials or the ones that you didn't like. So what was your favorite? I already know.
That Jason Momoa commercial was classic.
And that was the one I did not like at
It's
all.
so
It was
funny.
creepy and weird, and I don't even know what the commercial was for.
It doesn't even, I don't either, and I don't care. It's because it was so self-deprecating and funny because it was just so stupid.
It was disturbing, actually, to watch.
I loved
It
it.
made me physically like, ugh.
The one that made me the maddest, which it's because I think it's because they changed it and they ditched plans, was the whole Mr. Peanut thing. Because they've had this whole thing building up for a couple of weeks now about the announcement that Mr. Peanut died.
Right.
And it's been all over the internet, hashtag rest in peace, Mr. Peanut, all this
I
stuff.
missed all this.
Oh, you didn't know all that? Yeah.
No, where
and
have
so
I
apparently
been?
there were plans of seeing Mr. Peanut die.
Right.
In like car wrecks and all these different things to build up thing. And because of the death of Kobe Bryant, the crash, they thought it was bad taste to show like an airplane crash or something in a fiery death. And so I don't know what they shot. They said they were going to still release it later, but at the Super Bowl we just got the funeral that is so out of context that, like, if you didn't know what was going on, you're like, what is this?
No, that's what I was like. Mr. Peanut died.
Yeah,
I was
so
so
it's like-
confused.
But
then we got.
it made so much more
baby
sense.
Peanut.
Yeah, when the baby Peanut's born, because for 2 weeks we've been hearing that Mr. Peanut passed away, and so now that commercial has a little more context.
Yeah.
But for somebody like you that
I
hasn't
didn't
heard
know.
about it,
I was just
you're just like,
Mr. Peanut died. I was
and then
like,
it
that was so
then it was
sad.
like, why do all this, and then just give us a new Mr. Peanut,
It's a baby peanut
know,
with a
but-
monocle
which then
and
other
a top hat.
with
It's so cute.
and then it made it randomly speak like a dolphin. It goes, just kidding,
Yeah,
And then why was Wesley Snipes there? I don't.
because he was officiating the.
I know, it was just
funeral of
weird.
Mr.
It was just a
Peanut.
whole weird.
I don't know. Well, okay, can you guess which was my favorite commercial?
The one with all the products in the house was Sofia Vergara.
No, that was funny. I liked that one.
Your favorite commercial was? Is it silly or
It
emotional?
was silly.
It was silly. I don't remember half of them now.
Okay, I like the Cheetos commercial with
with
MC
the guy-
Hammer, and he's like, "Can't touch this."
Yeah, that was funny.
And then MC Hammer comes out of the picnic table, and the picnic table
Oh my
turned into
God.
his pants, and he's all like,
She lost.
I was cracking up.
I'm like, that is the stupidest thing.
I
I've
know
ever
it was
saw.
the stupidest. And then I looked at you, and I'm like, half these people don't even know who MC Hammer is,
No.
but they'll know the song.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite commercial.
No, I did think it was funny that they made him look like he did back then, even though that's not what he looks
Oh
like
my
anymore.
God, you could tell his little face is a little bit older.
Yeah,
than it
well,
used to be.
he's got like the shaved head thing now too. He doesn't have the hair and the
Yeah.
stripes like he used to that they put back on him.
That's so
It was a funny
I
commercial.
loved it. It was fun. Anyway.
So which one did you hate the most? Was the
Jason Momoa, because I didn't get it. And then I was missing. We didn't have any Clydesdale commercials.
No, I don't think that. No, because the Budweiser stuff is either it's all about America stuff or it's the night from Bud Light,
Oh, okay, well, whatever.
which I love the Post Malone commercials. I thought they were funny.
that was funny.
There was 2 of them. We only saw one. I saw the other one
Oh.
online where he's in a bar and he's trying to order the drink and there's the same people in his head with all the tattoos
Yes,
and they're trying to make a
controlling him.
decision. Yeah, I thought those were funny.
That's
and I
funny.
just watched, I don't know if it was last night or today, but I just watched outtakes of him filming the convenience store commercial. It's really funny.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't like his music, but I like that guy.
He seems like a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's super.
He seems
super,
just normal.
He seems down to earth despite all of the face tattoos and stuff.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird, but
That's
I mean,
just
that's
his thing.
okay.
He also looks like my son. So.
Yeah, my favorite thing is when him and Jimmy went to go to Olive Garden.
Yeah, where he goes to Olive Garden after every success. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Did you want to talk about the halftime show? Because I know we have completely, probably different opinions.
Yeah, we can. That's fine. My opinion, I was bored, but that's because I'm not a fan of them.
I'm a fan of both of them.
Yeah, but I also understand and recognize what they were doing, and it wasn't sexual. It wasn't stripping. It wasn't all the stuff these idiots are talking about.
No, they were doing the pole
There was
thing.
mostly like all the Jennifer Lopez pole stuff is Chinese pole, which is stuff you see on America's Got Talent, Cirque du Soleil, Vegas. You know, it's feats of strength and acrobatics and stuff. It's not just, oh, that's a stripper pole, which is what society looks at.
Yeah, it was.
And they're totally missing. And it takes a lot of strength and effort to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of that show was all about culture.
Yeah.
The belly dancing, which people decided to call twerking, which is because they don't know any different.
Yeah, it's belly. That takes a lot
of the outfits,
muscles.
a lot of the dances were cultural to Colombia or Puerto Rico or whichever people.
Well, and she was even bringing in some Middle Eastern.
Yeah. Well,
stuff.
Shakira is part Lebanese.
Yes.
And so there was some stuff and that thing that got the biggest meme of her that I was thinking about.
We did that when we were in Morocco.
Yeah. Well, that
you weren't there, but I was there.
That thing that I told you that when she's doing that, that's actually some sort of it's not a phrase, it's not words, but it's some kind of thing that's actually part of a culture.
Yeah,
thing.
they taught us how to do it when we were in Morocco. So when something exciting happened, we would all do it. It was fun.
And the problem is people watch it and all they think of is perversion instead of saying,
"Oh, come on, learn your
because there's so many people who are like, oh, this should have been a family-friendly show and it's inappropriate. But not a single person was complaining when Adam Levine was.
I did.
With his shirt off last year.
I did last year. I was like, what the heck is he doing?
Well,
I understood he took off his big fur coat, which I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, I don't care if he takes his shirt off either.
Thing off.
My issue.
I'm like, what is happening?
Well, my issue is
why is he stripping?
Well, I don't care if he has his shirt off because a lot of rock stars end up getting up there with their shirts off.
I guess, but it was just weird.
My issue is not that. My issue is you can't look at one and go, oh, he's sexy. I like this show. But then when it's women doing it, it's suddenly bad.
Well,
because it's two different things.
Taste.
His had no purpose other than he's a rock star showing off his tats, his muscles while he's playing, and
he ain't got no muscles.
Well, I'm just saying.
Skinny.
But we're there because they're sexualized. Everybody's looking at them as sexual.
All the parts were covered. It's not like, oh well.
I looked at two 50+ women.
Well, Shakira's 40-something.
Well, whatever. Two older women.
And J-Lo's daughter was there. I mean,
two older women that are mothers, and they're out there performing, and they're
trying to express their culture.
And they're still doing it better than most of the people.
They showed the female symbol from the air, and then the kids in the cages.
I was going to say, did you catch that?
Yes, I caught it.
J-Lo's daughter singing in the cage.
By the way, there are still kids in cages at the border, whether you choose to believe it or not.
Yep.
They are being abused. They're being mistreated. They're not getting an education, and they've been separated from their families. So
all right, well, we're not going to get into all that.
Sorry, but it's real.
So anyway, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of the show, but that's because I'm not a fan of them.
I'm a fan of
I wasn't a fan last year because I don't care about Adam Levine either.
All of their music. So.
I and now I've seen a bunch of people saying, we need to get a good, wholesome show like a George Strait performing or something like that at the Super Bowl because that's a wholesome. I'm like,
okay.
I got in a couple little mini arguments because somebody accused me of calling them a racist when I said, because they said something about being offended and couldn't let their children watch the show.
Why not?
And I said, what are you offended about? The Cirque du Soleil type performing, the Hispanic cultures being presented on stage. And they're like, don't you dare call me a racist. And then I'm like,
didn't say that.
I said, I didn't say anything about you being a racist, but
yep.
If that's your first offense, maybe you need to think about that.
Yep. Oh,
anyway, so moving on.
Okay.
All right, so let me talk about a couple of news real quick.
That's what happened this week in TV.
With the commercials, you always get movie trailers and stuff like this. But one of the ones that I guess you were surprised about, because I assume everybody already knows this because I already know it. And I guess you didn't know it.
I didn't.
But Disney Plus debuted the trailer for the new Marvel TV shows. We got Falcon, the Winter Soldier, that's going to continue. And all the shows now, they're going to be coming to Disney Plus that are Marvel. They are directly connected to the films.
Love it.
And so
I'm prepared
they said there's now stuff that's going to happen in the shows that will directly feed into the films. And so if you haven't seen it, it might not make sense when you see the movie. So you have to see them both to connect. So Falcon Winter Soldier, spoiler warning, is going to kind of be continuing Falcon now taking on the mantle of Captain America
That made
potentially.
me so sad, you guys. I cried.
And well, and what's funny is in the comics, both Winter Soldier and Falcon have become Captain America.
Yeah.
There's also another guy called the U.S. Agent who is in the show, played by Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son. He's playing U.S. Agent. They've already released pictures, so he's got more of a Captain America look to him. And in the comics, he took on the mantle of Captain America for a while. And then when he became, Steve Rogers came back and became U.S. Agent, his uniform was black, red, and white. Instead of white, blue, red, and white. So I don't know what they're planning with him. But
did you see the picture recently of the Native American Captain America? It is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
But anyway, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
No, this dude.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Okay, sorry.
Also,
continue.
The weirdest show probably that Marvel's ever been made so far is going to be WandaVision.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening.
Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on.
Okay.
Because in the movie, Vision's dead.
Right.
So we don't know when it takes place.
It looks like
we don't know if it's going to be inside his memory. The coolest part about it, though, and you may not have caught it because you're not a Uber fan, but there's a quick clip of Wanda Scarlet Witch in her traditional X-Men costume in the trailer.
I missed it. Then
It's flashing. Well, it's flashing when it flashes through all those different versions. The one with the red and she's got the red headpiece on. That's what she looks like in the comic, and it's this spot on suit. Awesome. So that's kind of awesome.
And I'm glad for her. I like her, by the way.
And then of course the Loki series, which we only got a quick glimpse of Tom Hiddleston as Loki. But there was an announcement this week that potentially Owen Wilson is joining the cast for Loki as a major character. So we don't know. We don't know what it is yet. So it'll be interesting. Falcon and Winter Soldier has already been shooting. I know for a fact. It got shut down because of some kind of a weather or something situation wherever they were shooting. But I don't know if it's back up. But it's supposed. I think all three of them may be hitting this year at some point.
I'm so excited.
So that's cool.
How do they release shows theirs? Episode
just like
episode?
Mandalorian.
Okay.
Yeah, each weekly
episode. Okay.
And of course, February 21st is the new and technically final season of Clone Wars is coming back. I am on the 6th and original lost episode final season of Clone Wars right now.
I haven't seen that.
It originally ended on season 5 after it got canceled, and then years later, well, I think about a year later or so, they released the lost episodes on Netflix. Now it's season 6 on the actual site. It's about a half a season, but you never saw the 6 seasons.
No, I started going back and watching it, and then I'm so dumb. I forgot there was a movie. So when you start the series,
and she's already there, and you don't know.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, how do we already know?
The movie's not that great.
No, but you need to see the movie to know the show, because it just goes straight into.
Well, here's the thing too that you may not. I don't know if you know this or not. That show of the episodes themselves, when it came out, that show is not in chronological order to the story. So there's actually a list where you can go find out how to watch that show.
That's what I want to do.
Which I wanted to watch it the way it was released. I just went through it because there's episodes like you meet Rex and some of the other guys when they're still in training, and then the next episode it's back to the present day, and then you have other ones, that takes place before this time, and they're kind of all over the place. And there's a lot of things I just started noticing that I did not connect into Rebels. So in Rebels later the seasons, you won't know what I'm talking about if you've never seen it, but you might remember. But when it started dealing with Kanan's past, remember how it talked? He started, had the visions of the Jedi Temple Guard Knights.
Yes.
That had the masks and stuff.
Yes.
They're in Clone Wars.
Oh.
They're in the 5th season during Ahsoka's trial when she's accused of murder or whatever. Remember before she leaves the Order?
She leaves.
They're the ones marching with her.
Oh, where have we been?
And they have the yellow lightsabers.
So that was his time period.
And they have the yellow lightsabers, like what we saw that show up in Rise of Skywalker. The other thing that has shown up, and there's a character, not a new character, but a character I saw in Clone Wars, and I'm going to go do some research to find out. But there's been some images from the new season popping up, and it shows this Jedi and his little Padawan kid. Looks like the same kid I just saw who had a couple of scenes in some of these last episodes of the show, which is supposedly Kanan when he was a kid. He's still in the Jedi Order. because his name is different.
Yeah,
Because
his
in the
name
comic,
was
isn't that Caleb Dune or something like
his
that?
name is different. Yeah.
So Cal Dune or something. And so in the
He
new
did change his
season,
name.
in the new season, it shows, hey, this is, they don't say it in the commercial, but people pointed out that's who that is. He looks like a character that was in season 5. So I'm going to need to go look and see if that's who that character is or not. So we might have actually seen Kanan before when he was a little kid, you know, whether we knew it was going to be connected at the time or not.
I am so intrigued.
So when I finish this
All
season,
comes
I'm
together.
going to dive into Rebels all over again.
Okay, that's
'Cause
fine. I love
Start with Clone Wars has now become my workout model. So
Yes.
when I'm on my treadmill doing my work, doing my cardio, I watch 2 episodes. It gives me 40 minutes to do that. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to start Rebels, do the same way.
Okay.
And then
That'll be good.
I don't know. But anyway, February 21st, the new season. I'm sure they'll drop it once a week, just like they did the other ones.
Probably.
Also, for whatever dumb reason, the CW has decided to take a second chance at the pilot for the Lost Boys TV series. They did one before. I think it failed and didn't get picked up. So they're trying again. New cast, shooting it again. I don't know what I know Corey Feldman wants to bring the Frog Brothers back. I doubt they will because he needs to stop. Also, it was announced today that Chris Pratt is returning to television.
Oh, cool.
If you don't know, do you know what TV show he used to be on?
He was on that Funny Parks show.
That's right. He was the chubby buffoon, Andy, on Parks and Recreation for years before he became Star-Lord and then his film career exploded. But he's reteaming with Anton Fuqua, who he did Magnificent Seven with, for a new TV series called The Terminal List. So it's like an action spy thriller about Navy SEALs that were all killed in his team or something.
That's cool. That'll be fun.
We'll see what happens. And that's pretty much all I was going to go with today.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of TV Tuesday. Please check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Thank you for watching us on Facebook. You can also find us on the Facebook, the Instagram, and the Twitters. That is all.
And don't forget to be back here for all new episode of Hollywood Matrimony live this Sunday, where we'll be live on Sunday.
Yes.
This week we'll be talking about Birds of Prey. We're going to be talking about some of the Oscar stuff. Hopefully we'll get to watch Honey Boy. Yes. We've got the Oscar shorts for the first time ever. We're going to see all the animated shorts and stuff, I think, or maybe just the short films. All of them before the Oscars. So normally those are the ones we miss.
Yes.
This season I have them all, so we're going to watch them all this week. And then whatever else we happen to get across. Did you know we have not been to a movie since the middle of January theater? Last movie we saw in the theater was Bad Boys for Life.
Well, that's because we are Bad Boys for Life.
That came out like January 17th.
That's because you got sick, then I got sick.
It's been craziness, man.
There were like 5 classes or something.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a movie tomorrow, and we're seeing another one on Saturday, and we're going to try to see some other stuff this weekend.
I'm going to get some popcorn, too.
No, you're not either.
Yes, I am.
It's not on your diet.
I don't care.
Anyway, and then I'll be back for another episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays, and then we'll be right back here on Tuesday for another TV Tuesdays, where hopefully we'll have more nonsense to talk about.
All right. Thank you so much for watching.
Make sure you hit our website for all new contests. Hit the subscribe button below. Hit the subscribe button if the orb shows up. Watch trailer. Do whatever you want. Have a good time. Be nice. It's time to get back to work. Stop being lazy.
All right.
Somebody's got to pay for Blinky Manor.
That's right. Me.
Peace.